Imagine logging into a fresh classic server. You kill your first boar, you loot a cracked buckler, and for the first time in years, that item, it actually matters. You're not buying a green weapon off the auction house, you're not mailing yourself 500 gold from your main, no GDKPs to bankroll yourself, no level 1 characters wearing fully enchanted gear because their guild or main funded it. Every piece of gear you use is something you found. Right now, that experience only exists on hardcore servers through the self-found mode that Blizzard created. But honestly, I think Blizzard is sitting on one of the easiest wins they've had in years without doing any extra work. Self-found shouldn't be exclusive to hardcore. It should be an optional game mode for literally every version of Classic WoW. And today I want to explain why I think that would actually make Classic better for almost everyone. One of the biggest complaints people have about modern Classic is that the journey doesn't really matter anymore. Leveling has become something that you just rush through, you optimize every single quest, you buy dungeon boosts, you grab gold from your main, you purchase gear upgrades, you install all the add-ons that tell you exactly where to go and follow that arrow. None of that is necessarily bad, but it does remove a huge part of what made the original game magical. Back in 2004, finding a random blue in Scarlet Monastery felt absolutely incredible. Getting a weapon upgrade could literally carry you for 10 levels. A simple green drop from a quest reward could make your entire night. Self-found brings that feeling back because every item matters again. That random chest in the middle of Stranglethorn Vale, you actually stop and open it. That mining node, you actually care. That rare elite wandering through this zone, you might risk fighting it because maybe, just maybe, it'll drop something amazing. The entire world suddenly becomes relevant again. Now let's be honest, the economy in Classic WoW is kind of a mess, right? Whether it's bots, gold buying, massive inflation as we're seeing on TBC Classic Anniversary, or players just transferring millions of gold between characters. The average player often feels like they're participating in an economy they can't possibly keep up with. Self-found completely sidesteps that issue. You don't care if arcane crystals cost 300 gold, you don't care if Black Lotus is being monopolized, you don't care if GDKPs are pumping thousands of gold into the economy, because your progression comes from playing the game, not from interacting with a broken market. And I think that's one of the reasons self-found hardcore became so popular. People realized they were having fun because they had escaped all of that external nonsense. It was just them versus the world. As someone who makes WoW content, I honestly think self-found would be incredible for YouTube and Twitch. It already is. It's proving that on the platforms right now. Think about it. What's more interesting? Today I bought all my pre-raid bis, or today I finally found the sword I've been farming for 3 or 4 days. One is a transaction and the other is a story. And that's really the point of this video, to kind of show you guys that self-found is actually a story. It elongates that entire journey between 1 and cap level on any version of WoW that you'd be playing with. It's so incredibly engaging for your audience and even for you as a player. People remember those stories. A self-found character naturally creates memorable moments, right? You get attached to the gear that you're getting, you remember where it dropped, you remember those close calls, you remember the lucky chest that gave you that sick weapon. It's basically just hardcore light. You get all the adventure without losing your character permanently. The funny thing is though, Blizzard has already done the hard part, right? They built self-found for hardcore. The restrictions are already there, they already work. There's no auction house, there's no mailbox, there's no trading. All they would really need to do is allow players to enable that rule set on any classic realm. Maybe give self-found characters a small icon next to their name. Maybe create some achievements around it. Maybe add cosmetic rewards for reaching level 60 as a self-found. Anything, really. They don't even need to separate the servers. Just let players check a box when they create their character that allows them to play it as a self-found character. You want normal classic? Perfect. You want hardcore? Perfect. You want self-found without permadeath? Perfect. All the options could just be there. Everyone wins, and there's no reason to even separate these servers. One thing Blizzard struggles with is keeping the older versions of Classic populated. Eventually, players finish raiding, they get their bis, and they log off until the next phase. Self-found creates an entirely new reason to replay the game. How many people would re-roll a self-found character after finishing their normal character? I know myself personally, I would. Would you guys? How many streamers would race to 60 on a self-found mode? everyone. We already know it's done every single time, right? How many guilds would organize self-found dungeon groups and raids? You know, you'd see perma self-found guilds all over every version of Classic, not just Hardcore. It's honestly just free replayability. It absolutely is. There's infinite replayability in it. Instead of developing entirely new systems, Blizzard could just breathe life into content that already exists. Classic Era, the Progression Realms, Anniversary, all of that stuff, even future expansions like Classic Plus and things that we're waiting for. Self-found could literally fit into every single version of Classic WoW. Now, I don't think Self-found should replace normal Classic. Trading is absolutely part of the MMO experience, right? The auction house is iconic. Playing with friends and helping each other out is one of the reasons we all love WoW. But giving players another way to experience Azeroth is never a bad thing. Just add the option, right? If there was an option to create a self-found character right now on Classic Era, you know how many people would go play Classic Era that they don't want to do permadeath, they don't really want to do hardcore, but they would love to just play through Classic on a self-found character, maybe join a self-found guild, and see if they could clear Molten Core and Onyxia, and even BWL, Nax eventually, all that stuff as a self-found guild without permadeath. It's just fun, in my opinion. I think that it really could work. Because at its core, Self-Found reminds us why we fell in love with Classic in the first place, right? It brings out that exploration. It brings out that adventure. It brings out the excitement of finding those weapons and those pieces of gear in chests and off mobs out in the world. And it just feels like your character's story is truly your own when you're playing Self-Found. So Blizzard, if you're listening, I know you watch some of my videos, don't keep Self-Found locked behind hardcore forever. Let people play the game how they want. Let people create a self-found character on TBC Classic Anniversary or Wrath Classic Anniversary, on Classic Plus, on Classic Era, even on, seasonal modes like Season of Discovery. Let people just play the game like that, and I bet you it would breathe so much life into these other servers of WoW that are kind of, falling behind in the numbers. No Classic version of WoW is truly dead at this point. Every one of them has like its own little player base, but I do think that Self-Found is kind of this cheat code to just add content without actually having to develop new content for the game. I think you'd be surprised just how many people would click that button and make a Self-Found character. If you guys agree, let me know down in the comments. I really do want to know how you feel about this. Would you play a Self-Found character if Blizzard added it to every version of Classic? If they came out tomorrow and added a Self-Found mode to Classic Era, to TBC Classic Anniversary, to Season of Discovery even, would you guys go and create a self-found character? I think a lot of people would, and I really do feel like it's an important aspect of the game, and like I said before, it's a way of creating content without even adding new content. Playing self-found basically creates the content for itself. It forces you to do all of these things in the game. And I think Blizzard is kind of sleeping on this. I think that if they just enabled that for every Classic realm tomorrow, it would breathe so much life into all these versions of Classic WoW. Again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys love Classic WoW just as much as me. And follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerdance. I stream Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.